Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to the leader in you. Yes, we are back. We are back for another edition. Listen, we don't got that many days left in the month of August. How are we going to finish this month? How are we going to finish the fourth quarter? Well, today we are going to be talking about the finish line. Yes, it's about us crossing over to the next place in our life, to the next destination. This is Good Morning to the Leader in You, where we awaken the leader that's on the inside of you, where we inspire, where we motivate, where we, just give you affirmations to help you think a different way, to help your mindset to reset so you can continue to move forward. Listen, you have to face a giant to become one. That was a quote that I saw online. And the question I want to pose is, where are my giant slayers, right? Because the quote, when I read it, it says you have to face a giant to become one. Sometimes we are staying in our cubby holes, secluded to ourselves because we don't want to cross over and face the giant. So ultimately we can become the giant in our own life. There's certain things that we have to conquer, but we can only conquer those things if we face the giants in our life, if we cross to the next line, if we cross over. There's a quote that says, a horse that doesn't set foot on the track is certainly never going to cross the finish line, let alone win the race. I want to read this again, and I want you to put your own personal situation in it as I read this quote. A horse that doesn't set foot on the track is certainly never going to cross the finish line. In other words, if you don't get in the game, there's no way you can finish. If you don't get in the game, there's no way you can cross over. So when we talk about the finish line, when we think about the word the is in reference to a point of origin, right? So where are you right now? What point in time are you at in your life? And some of you may have listened to my podcast from last week. And I thank everyone that's always plugging in and listening and supporting and spreading the broadcast. But the point of origin. So when we think about the finish line, let's break that down. The means the point of origin. Then when we think about the word finish, it oftentimes means to bring to an end, to complete something. It is at the end or final part or stage of something. So what final stage are you at in your life? Depending on the scenario, the situation, whatever it may be, what needs to be brought to an end? Is it our thinking? Is it our habits that's not propelling us forward? What do we need to bring to an end in our life? That way we can become that giant slayer and cross over the finish line. When we think about the word line, it oftentimes means it is a long, narrow mark. It oftentimes can be referenced to a length of a cord or a rope or a wire or some type of material thing, right? That's serving a particular purpose, right? Oftentimes a line is positioned in a specific space, but also it can have different intervals and it can be interchanging over time. So the finish line, the point of origin is the word the. Finish, bringing to an end. Line, a narrow length of a cord or a narrow length of something that has a specific designed purpose. So when you break all this down and you connect it back to your personal life, what point of origin are you in your life? What do you need to bring to an end? And what line do you need to have in a fixed position that's going to produce purpose in your life? It's all about producing purpose. Leaders that's plugging into this show, it's all about purpose at the end of the day. Don't stop till you cross the finish line to the next chapter in your destination. Don't stop. Don't quit. Don't give up. Yes, some days do we have challenging days? Absolutely. Do we have those moments when we feel that we just cannot make it through? Absolutely. We all do. We all get to that place. But we have to understand there will always be another line to cross, but you can't move forward till you cross the current line that you're right in front of. What are you facing today? What giant are you facing? Today is the day for you to rise up into your leadership capacity and become a giant slayer. Become that giant slayer and cross that finish line. Become the giant slayer and cross the finish line. There's something else that when I was looking up different quotes, and it's a quote that I really connected to it, and it said, it doesn't matter how fast you cross the finish line if you're running the wrong race. So my question to you is, whose race are you running? And I say that because we see other people in business or doing different things, and sometimes we try to covet what another person is doing or try to duplicate, but that's not even our race. Or we allow other individuals to tell us what our race is, and we're not even walking authentically in it, because it doesn't even directly connect with you. It's not even who you are. Sometimes we have been conditioned in life and society from childhood, and individuals have said, this is who you are, this is what you're going to be, but that's not who you truly are. And so we've allowed society to condition us, people in our life to condition us, to put us in this box, to put us in the wrong race. And we've stayed there because we didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings. We stayed in the wrong race because we didn't want someone to feel bad. We stayed in the wrong race because of loyalty. And again, I'm not saying we shouldn't be loyal to people, but we should not be loyal to the point we're staying in a race that don't even belong to us. We're on the wrong race. That's why we're never getting ahead in life, because we're not even in our own race. We're in the wrong race. What race are you in? And whose race are you running? Whose race are you running? Is it your race or the race somebody else wanted you to run for them? Listen, you got to understand what race you're running. Because if you're running in the wrong race, you're going to constantly be spinning in circles, and you're going to constantly be in a state of frustration because you're not running your own race. Crossover. Listen, we got to cross over. When we think about cross, it talks about a specific directional point past in an opposite direction a lot of the times, or a different direction. It's like an intersection, right? So we're in an intersection of our life. For those that listened to last week's podcast, you know I talked a lot about intersection and crossroads. This is a continuation to last week's podcast, right? What intersection are you at in your life? What directional point are you at in your life? Over, succession, growth, right? When we think about over, what does over mean? It means succession. It means growth. It means extending in a direction that's going upward, right? You're going to a higher level, right? You're layering, you're stacking things one on top of the other. Your surroundings are being expanded, right? Your business is being expanded. Your mental capacity is being expanded. Your personal development is being expanded. But until you do actually cross over, none of that expansion can take place. Remember the opening quote? It talked about being a giant slayer. We have to slay those giants so we can become the giant in our own lives. There's a quote that says, you'll always have to fight for what you want, but definitely crossing over and being able to tackle these larger than life situations is going to make you strong, and it's going to fortify you. Another quote says, life is a race, and what matters, you know what matters the most is not how fast you get there. What matters is that you actually get there. But what also matters is that you're on the right race. Some of us is not even on the right race. We're not even on the right track. We're running someone else's race. It's time out for running someone else's race and run our own race. Whatever that may look like for you, be authentic in it and run your own race. Another quote says, the finish line is the culmination of a journey. As such, we should never pay it so much attention that the culmination of the journey becomes the whole of the journey at the expense of the journey. In other words, what I get from this quote is, sometimes when we're going through a journey and we're striving to get to the finish line, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be hills we have to climb, there's going to be bad days that you don't want to absolutely do nothing. I get it, been there. But don't take all those individual moments and say, well, this is just my journey. No, you got to make it to the finish line. Then you look back and see it in its totality, the wholeness of your journey, because therein lies your testimony and how you were able to move past every single obstacle in your way. Another quote says, leadership isn't about winning. It's about bringing people with you to the finish line. But you can't even bring nobody with you to the finish line if you're not running your right race. That's why some people say, well, why isn't anyone, supporting my organization? Why isn't anyone supporting my nonprofit? Well, a lot of times you're not even clear on what it is that you're doing. So how can they support you? You're not running your own race. You're trying to get people to be a part of your business, your company, your mission, whatever it is you're doing, and you feel that you don't have the support. Could it be that the other individuals watching you on the wrong race, and they know, and you haven't realized it yet, they see that you're not on the right race. They see that you're not walking authentically. So they don't want to get on that race because you're not even on the right track for yourself. Trust the law of attraction is real and is true. You get into the place of your life where you're running on the right track. Whoever you need to show up for your business, whatever it is you're doing, they're going to show up because you're now authentically running on your right track and not someone else. And I want to use this closeout quote as we get ready to wind down. It says, don't forget to cheer for yourself. When you do reach the finish line, sometimes we can cheer for everyone else and we don't cheer for ourselves. This is why we talk about positive self-talk. What are we saying to ourselves? So when you do cross over, I want you to cheer for yourself, whatever that may look like, whatever that may mean to you. You need to do it, right? But you can't even do it if you're not on the right track. And I know I keep going back to that because many of us are not even on the right track. And that's why we feel stagnant. And sometimes that's why we don't cheer for ourselves if we felt we got to a place, or maybe there's others cheering for us, but inwardly, you don't even want them to cheer for you because inwardly, you know, you're not even being authentic to yourself. Yet all these other individuals are cheering you on because that's where they wanted you to be, but that's not honestly where you needed to be in life, right? So you got to get clear on who you are. Just as a recap, as we wind down, listen, you got to finish the line. You got to finish the race. You got to cross over. But you have to face the giant that is in front of you today. I don't know what giant you're facing today. Only you know. I want you to go into the mirror. And when you go into the mirror, I want you to speak out and call out whatever giant you are facing. And I want you to slay that giant today. And I want today to be the beginning process of you crossing over to your next place, your next destination in your life. Listen, for anyone that's listening, you may need assistance with business plan development, getting your 501c3 for your not-for-profit. Anyone that knows me, I am a business strategist. I would love to work with you. Send me an email, ct@catherinetrotter.com. And of course, my website, www.catherinetrotter.com. And as everyone know that follows my podcast, I always close out and say, I'm going to see you at the top. And you know why I say that? Because it's the power of the words, but it's also the power of connection. When we all collaboratively come together and we tell each other we're going to see each other at the top, there's a mental picture that pops in your mind. When we say we see you at the top, I personally visualize a mountain, and I see a group of individuals, not just myself at the top of the mountain, but a group of individuals. So this week, starting today and this week, find somebody that you're going to speak that into. I'm going to see you at the top. 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 Find 2, 3, 5 people, however many people you want to speak that into. But I want you to do it because that's also going to help usher you to crossing over the finish line. Listen, it has been an honor and a privilege to come back this morning with another edition of Good Morning to the Leader in You, the finish line. Where are my giant slayers? I'm going to see you at the top.